Well, hello, everybody. It's been a minute since I've babbled at you. So I thought I would do a little quickie this morning. Happy Friday, uh, or whatever day it is, wherever you are in your part of the world. So I just wanted to weigh in and give my 1.5 cents on the diddler and something I've been saying for years, mostly relating to my own personal targeting by the Illuminati, which I've done now 10 plus hours of podcasting on. And happy to send those links to anybody who wants them. Sharing is caring if you dare. I know it's kind of all a crazy little clown show, shit show lately, but there you have it. So yeah, the diddler. I mean, we get that this is a Freemason fall guy, right? Like, this is Epstein, Weinstein, throw him a bone, distract him, look over here, not over there. And it doesn't mean he isn't guilty, and it doesn't mean he didn't do the things he was accused of. He probably is, and he probably did. I think we all get that now. And for the people still holding out on innocent until proven guilty and everybody deserves a fair trial, like, okay, that's nice. That ship sailed after the 9-year-old and 6-year-old entered the chat. So, pretty clear that this is a culture of pedovores that we're dealing with. So they're likely not even human, you guys. This is some science fiction, tinfoil, tiara kind of stuff, but we are dealing with non-human entities here, in my opinion. People can call them demons, they can call them archons, they can call them thought forms, programs, reptilians, Draco, Greys, Nordics, although the Nordics is supposed to be benevolent, but whatever. Like, it's all a big Harry Potter sorting hat and the Star Wars cantina. It's just a mixed bag of mixed frequencies. So there's that. We're all in a big fucking, sorry to swear, but not sorry, because the times we are in warrant a few F-bombs here and there, let's be real. You're hurting children, go look at the people hurting children, not the people swearing about the people hurting children, okay? And take your virtue signaling elsewhere. So that's something I've been saying for years, is the sun, the moon, and the truth. Three things that cannot long be hidden. It is a quote attributed to Buddha, but now we know they have lied to us about everything and everyone, and their achievements, their accomplishments were Freemason, hijacked, puppeted, and curated. Their narratives are false, fake. As a kid, I wrote about this before I got booted off Facebook. Thanks, Zuckerborg. And I do mean Borg. But anyway, yeah, free speech matters. And then he's censoring friggin' everyone all the time who tries to give even the tiniest bit of truth. So after 15 years of being on that platform and sharing prolifically and for free, to try to help the masses awaken themselves, because again, it's not really our job to ever awaken anybody, but we can plant seeds and leave breadcrumbs so they can figure it out for themselves, right? That's what this whole planet or realm or dimension or dome or sim or matrix or whatever the heck we are in is sort of based on, is well, of course, all the universal laws, not just law of attraction, but law of compensation, laws of karma. And, I just spent a lot of my 20s, I'm now 53, spent a lot of my 20s and 30s and even teens studying metaphysics and deep diving into, I wouldn't call my readings the occult, although some of that was in there. I would call it more being a spiritual seeker. And I think that's what we all are. Unless you prefer the ignorance is bliss, put your head in the sand and pretend you don't know what you know. But I'm not able to do that. I'm not wired that way. Deception actually makes me physically ill. I get a stomach ache. And it kind of breaks my heart because it's such a low vibe consciousness. And I'm not saying I haven't sunk to that level in, moments in my life. But one thing I guess I do try to bring to the world that has so much deception and lies and falsity and fakeness is some honesty and authenticity. Do I filter my pictures? Yes, I do. So there's my little hypocrisy too. Nobody wants to age in a culture that, wants to put you out to pasture and send you out on an ice floe the minute you turn 25. Just saying. So, aging with dignity would have avoided a lot of this. The people are tracing, eternal youth and the elixir of youth. We all know what that is. Adrenochroma. I say it in a little accent. Maybe it'll bypass the censors. The AI bots and the snots and the elites who are really just the shallows, as I like to call them, because look at that empire is crumbling and a tumbling. And the fact that they're so silent, these people who virtue signal about everything from paper straws to your carbon footprint to vote to 6 feet apart to mask up, are deadly silent about someone who, it seems pretty clear, hurt children for fame and has blackmail intel on a lot of these very, very quiet celebs right now. So again, I've talked about my experiences with this cult and how heinous and vile it is, and the mind games that are played, and the vetting, recruiting, and targeting, and gaslighting, and gang stalking, and love bombing, and just chaos mongering in general. That's what Satanists do. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with Freemason, Illuminati, Satanists. I've gotten some criticism for mingling those terms. That's what I've come to understand them as. Again, there's an off-world faction that is disembodied. Energy can, be entities that hops bodies, that, is assigned to cause strife between people, to loosh them, to siphon their energies. That's what loosh is like any kind of time there's a strong emotion, these beings get fed. It's a meal for them. So I've been joking, starve the fuckers. And whether you want to get in your Bible, whether you want to light your candles, or you like your crystals, or whatever, I do believe in Jesus. I do believe he was our greatest example of what humans can become, and a wonderful teacher and healer. And just, again, these things in greater, right? Where two or more are gathered. All these kind of things that stick out to me from my Catholic youth. And then that's rabbit holes you do not even want to begin to go down with the Jesuits and stuff. Like, keep a puke bucket handy and your therapist on speed dial if you start diving into the hierarchical structure of Satanism and Luciferianism and eugenics and, all the MAGA-tards versus the libtards, which is just another game. They pit people against each other and want you to believe in left and right and red and blue and male and female. And these are all constructs. Time is a man-made construct. Money is a man-made construct. And they're used for control. So as anyone changes their relationship to time and money and how we either believe we deserve, or if there's a sense of entitlement and abuse of power, those are all coming to light this year. And I'm not the first one to say that, but I'm not in the cult or the club, never made it in, thank God, for small favors and for majorly dodged bullets, because it is a sick and slimy, creepy, crawly, oozy kind of world that, people want to knee-jerk to defend these celebrities and say, well, just because they took a picture with them doesn't mean they're guilty. Or just because they went to a party doesn't mean they, stayed till after midnight when all the demons came and when the children were brought in for the party favors, Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Guilty by association, complicity, silence is violence, right? Aren't they the ones who say that? That's cute, right? Be kind. Is it kind to watch or participate in heinous crimes against humanity and against innocence and against children? No, that's not kind. And keeping silent about it is also wildly not kind and extremely evil. So people I like out there that you can catch up to speed a little bit is follow some, Sloan Bella is amazing. She's a psychic out of LA who has dealt with a lot of these people in an indirect way and some of them in a more direct way. And she's just got her finger on the pulse of it. She also is a former runaway turned sex worker. Not sex worker, sorry, stripper. Big difference. Um, but anyway, that's the realm. That's the realm of she has seen it all. She has seen that, and maintains a lot that men are really just attracted to other men and pretty much hate women. And of course, they go after children because that's low hanging fruit and it's easy. And they are small, small creatures themselves. They might be in a tall body, but they are small, tiny, minuscule flecks of on top of a flea, on top of a paramecium, on top of an amoeba, on top of the hair on Satan's ass is better than they are. Basically. These are the dregs, people. These are the dregs who do the drugs, who hurt children. I mean, I don't know. It just has to be translated in your brain. Every time I go to a movie and pay money to see, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, then I'm participating in human trafficking. Like, people don't get that. They don't get that yet. A lot more do than did before, but they still think, oh, but they're such nice guys. No, they are two of the people who were sent to target me, bully me, gaslight, and gang stalk me. And I used to love them too. That's what they do. They take people that you have an affinity for, or maybe you like their talent, or you think they're funny, or you think they're attractive, or whatever, and they will use that against you to pull you in or try to pull you into this insane Masonic mafia. And they want to milk you and bilk you and lie to you and treat you like an afterthought or invisible or shun you or blacklist you. And I mean, that used to feel like a punishment. Now it feels like freedom because they're all going down. They're going down in a just flames and ash, It's going to be ugly. It's already happening. But remember that whatever you see on your screens, the talking heads, the bobbleheads, the news people, the pundits, the political people, the entertainment field, they're all lying. It's what they do. They are professional paid liars, and they are given scripts. That's why, Mockingbird Media, you see the same wording, the same stories, the same phrasing, the same crap over and over and over. Just lies, lies and more lies and more lies. And I'm not even going to call it fake news because it is very much scripted news. It is very much improv based on, advancing the agendas and the narratives of wiping out the human race. And yes, I will be a little black pill doom and gloom on that because that is what is happening. And when they sodomize a child, they believe that opens a portal to let in more demons so they can get more things and stuff. That's basically the bottom line. They would hate that description because they think they have some kind of, nobility or enlightenment, and they don't, because if you are noble and enlightened, you would never hurt a child. The end. You just wouldn't. Well, that's easy to say. You don't know if you would do the same things if, or your circumstances or life were different, or your trauma and background was like theirs. You don't know what you would do. Yeah, I do, because I've been doing it. I've been doing it. I've been exposing and truth-telling for years. And it falls on deaf ears, and it gets, shadow banned and censored, but I figure it goes out where it needs to go. And people who get it, and the ones who don't, maybe never will, and that's okay. But, if you can be the person who says, don't bring your kid to Hollywood, or if you do, don't leave them alone in a room with an executive, or there is a casting couch. It's very real, and it is, it swings both ways. It happens to both genders. It happens to, kids. It happens to anybody who has a dream. That's what they use. They take your dream and they use that against you in every possible way they can. And, really my dreams were and ambitions were kind of big. I wanted to be a best-selling author. I wanted to maybe be part of it's embarrassing to admit now, but whatever, like a celebrity power couple. Now that makes me cringe because knowing what they do and how cowardly they are, and the, just the endless blackmail and head games, and there's no heart. There's no real heart or passion or genuine originality or creativity in that world. That's why they hijack off content creators like me, and they bully us, and they cut you out of the loop. That you don't profit from your own work. So there's a lot of fomanism, I call it, FAUX, faux, like fake, of rah rah, girl, go get your bag. And yet there's also so much cock blocking and gatekeeping. It's absurd. They get you chasing your own tail. It's a carrot and stick you to death kind of thing, I've said before. And I maintain that. They just keep giving you false hope and smacking you down. So obviously, seeing Diddy, in the news every 24 seconds is both, like there's doom scrolling, and then there's like, you know, anybody who's ever been sexually assaulted or raped or molested or heard about all those stories like I have for freaking 25 years. It's secondary trauma, to hear about it all the time and to know it exists. And then, what they would have called me in the B system is a wild card. Someone who stumbles in like you stumble into a wasp nest and you're just like, oh crap, and you're trying not to get stung, or a viper's pit, you're trying not to get bitten. It's constant, it's exhausting, it takes a toll on your health. Um, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I wasn't gonna cry in this, but whatever this is, everybody should be crying. We should all be crying for what they do to kids in ritual. And then they go and they slime in interviews and they slime on the carpet and they ooze here and they ooze there and they ooze everywhere. And you can sit here and say, well, it's MK Ultra and they were hurt too, and they are victims who became perpetrators, and we have to break the cycle. Yeah, the way we break the cycle of millennia of secrecy, lies, and abuse is transparency, truth, and reparation for such, horrific things. And catharsis is in telling your truth. So, sometime in the next month or two, I'll be launching literarylabor.com, where it's book doula services. So the people who do have a story inside them, it doesn't have to be traumatic or dramatic, or it could just be a cute little, children's book you want to launch into the world with some sweet messages and illustrations. It could be a YA where you're actually, weaving in some fun, snappy dialogue with, with what are the things that people are up against right now, like in different age groups. I think of that a lot. I think, wow, I'm so glad I had my teens and 20s and even 30s, even though they had ups and downs and challenges and heartbreaks. I'm so glad I had them mostly, without being in the social media trap, which I think there's still great things about it and horrible things about it. It has done weird and wonderful and terrible things to my life. So stepping back from it, or relaunching in a different way where I'm focused on, how do I prosper from my gifts and talents and time and energy, instead of just people hijacking and using you and exploiting you and then pretending you don't exist. Like, it's so diabolical, you guys. It's so sick. It's so evil. So yeah, anyway, today this is representing the sun. A little bit, son back here. He's a runner, son. We got a runner, son. Anyway, yeah, just when you look up at the sun and you feel its warmth, you don't have to worry about solar flares, or is it going to explode, or don't worry about the Schumann resonance. Don't worry, because worry feeds the loose machine, right? It feeds the fear, it feeds the pain. And then if you sit here and you hold this all inside you without sharing it with the world or some trusted people or a therapist or a friend or a partner, like, you will go down, into the spiral of misery. I'm not even going to say depression or anxiety. They're so overused. They're so become umbrella terms for all these other emotions that we often have as humans that get short shrift, that don't get, any attention or acknowledgement, and that's all any of us ever want, is attention, affection, and acknowledgement. And we understand that it isn't really going to come from the world or from humans. It might come from your dog sometimes, or occasionally, you get in with a good group of people and they are cohesive and they know how to work together and they're a good team, and that's all any of us can hope for, whether it be in your family, your community, society at large, or this election, you guys, is just to yank your chain. So just Move away from it. Don't get caught up in it. It's all lies anyway. Every president has been cabal installed, selected, not elected. They know who they already want. They know. So, the sun, the moon, and the truth cannot long be hidden. I'm astounded at how much has come out in the last, year to 5 to, in my case, 7 or 8, is when a lot of this journey stuff started for me. And I was just looking for a partner, man. I was looking for a love partner who could maybe also be somewhat of a business partner. I was looking for maybe have a kid. And they just wasted my time. They wasted my eggs. And they played games. And it's just something I'll never get back. So, lesson learned. Don't get into the celebrity pedestal worship, game, because they're all extremely not who they present themselves to be. Like, they're just so not. Just like whatever their persona is, imagine the opposite. Imagine the worst you can imagine and then add worse things to it, because that's what we're dealing with. So keep shedding a light on things, keep being, warm and radiant and powerful, even when you don't feel your best and you're hitting walls and you're run down, or you're confused or stagnant or stuck or tired or sick or broke, or how they want us. They want us sick, fat, and broke, or dead. That's what they want. And so just don't do it. Just try to take as best care of yourself as you can. Try to tend your inner light, and be around people who are really clear, who are really good communicators, whose words and actions align and match up. Don't be around gaslighters. Don't be around gang stalkers. Don't, call that stuff out. I was terrified. My life was in danger, and I didn't know what to do. And I mean, I held my own. I think I got a few licks in, but we were talking about 200 plus people sent to, and wave after wave after wave, and they're saying things out of their faces that you've put in your private note section on your iPhone, and they're saying it verbatim over and over and over for years, and they just lie, and you just can see how much they lie. And it's like, it's insane, because even a kid, when caught in the act, well, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. These people don't understand sorry unless they're caught, and then it's a half-assed sorry, and then they double down on, I didn't do anything wrong, and it's just, it's a cult, it's a hive mind, it's dirty, it's evil. They're all caught up in that literally dark web of sticky, yucky, icky grossness. So I can't say enough harsh things. I can't name call enough. I can't, because the things they do would blow your head off and shatter your heart if you actually knew. And don't ask me how I know. I wasn't in any of these things. It's mostly from reading and from listening to podcasts of survival for survivors, overcomers, whistleblowers who are credible, and from my own personal experiences with these assholes. So, yeah, there's just not enough warning that you can give of, do not bring your kids or anyone you love into that realm, because it is so unnecessarily complicated. Unnecessarily, like, it's juvenile, it's pranky, it's punky. Like, I always hated punked. I always hated it. It made me, just go, oh, that's just bullying. That's just bullying. They're getting paid a lot of money to be bullies, and that really hasn't changed. That is still the case. They're getting paid a lot of money to be liars, thugs, cowards, and bullies. And unoriginal, because they've got to go and plagiarize actual creative people. So, sun, moon, and truth, baby. And it's going to be a wild ride. Buckle up, Buttercup, and don't even take their hate bait. Just don't do it. I'm talking to myself now, and I'm sure with a lot of you I'm preaching in the choir, but it's a good reminder for myself and for all of us to just do your thing, live your life, your own best life, which doesn't have anything to do with yachts, bling, or hurting children. And, get new dreams. Get ones that don't involve trying to hang out with pedivores who actually sodomize and cannibalize children. So there's that. Oh, gosh. Anyway, hang in there. Chin up. Keep as much in your heart as you can. And yes, fight the good fight. And when you're tired, you rest and you hydrate and you tend to your nutrition and your sleep. And I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot right now. It's actually the scummy, slimy layer of, just the first level of the Masonic onion is getting exposed, and there's so much more. And so please, please, please take time to process, to integrate the info, find others who do get it, share puzzle pieces, but try not to, get into, again, speaking to myself here, either too much paranoia, too much conspiracy. I mean, I don't even use the word conspiracy anymore because it's stupid, because it's all coming true. And it was always true. So people who use the word conspiracy are not in the know. They just don't get it. Or they are in the know and they're trying to deflect you from getting it. So you dig, get it. All right, everybody. So yeah, that's 25 plus minutes of me just, rambling. So that's it. That's what I got. I'm not on Facebook anymore. If you want to find me, soon it will be through literarylabor.com. And I am on Telegram as Courtney A. Walsh. I don't use it very much. But that was the kill shot. That was the final move to try to silence me and isolate me and disconnect me from an organically cultivated community of pen pals, as I like to think of you guys, all over the world. And I didn't buy those people. I didn't promote or market to get those people. I just wrote and put my messages out there, and they found me. So I know that will happen again. I can always rebuild what they take, because they take everything, and you have to rebuild all the time, and that's just part of the way they play. So dirty. So frat boyish. Just frat boyish, It's it's Lord of the Rings meets Lord of the Flies. Meets Hogwarts meets I would say True Blood is more like a documentary. The Matrix is more like a documentary. So yeah. But they're just, they're desperate. They're desperate because their world and their way of being is dying. And it really reminds me of the Old South when they were trying to fight to keep slaves. Because that's what these people want humanity to become, is an enslaved race that just bends and bows to their will. And we cannot and will not do it. We have too much spirit, too much spunk, too much feistiness, too much spark. So, sun, moon, truth, y'all.